Welcome back to another video. My name is Anita and this is my channel. I hope you're all doing great. As you can see, I'm back with another Sailor Moon video. If you've watched my previous video, you know that I'm not originally from the United States. I don't think I mentioned where I'm actually from, so here it is. I'm from Poland. After getting married, I moved to Germany, where I got the chance to travel around Europe, which was the greatest thing ever. It was like a dream come true because I always wanted to go places and see things. It just world fascinates me. Of course, since my husband is American, we eventually moved to the United States. Well, the best thing about leaving Poland was that I got to see so many cool and interesting places. I was exposed to different cultures, both through personal experience and through TV and books. I did have access to books growing up, but living in what used to be a communist country left a lot to be desired. So my knowledge of other countries and cultures was limited, and most of it really came from Russia. Exposure to Western countries like Great Britain, France, Italy, United States was few and far between. In fact, even though Germany is a neighboring country, I don't really remember seeing much of their movies or TVs on TV. The only thing that comes to mind is cartoon based on a book. It was called Maya the Bee, if I remember right. The closest thing to anything Oriental was actually a couple of shows. They were called Taipan, Shogun, and Oshin. Out of those three, only Oshin was produced by the Japanese. The other two were an American production. Both Shogun and Taipan are actually based on books by an author named James Clavell. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I do remember trying to read Taipan at some point, but I was quite young then, and the writing and the subject matter didn't really appeal to me at the time. It was way over my head. I think I'll go back actually now that I'm thinking about it and give it another try. Maybe even read both books, Shogun as well. I'm sure it would provide plenty of material for some interesting illustrations. Anyway, excuse me. One of the things I found fascinating about Sailor Moon was how different the Japanese culture was from everything I knew. The first thing that caught my attention was the temple where Rei Hino is, as in Sailor Mars, comes from. Being raised in a Christian society, I've never seen anything like that before. I was used to the typical Western-style churches with, steeples and bells and stained glass windows, where the major differences came from the time period these churches were built in. Shinto and Buddhism as religions were mostly a foreign concept, even though in school we did touch on the different religions around the world, but it was so brief and really they didn't provide any references. It was just a little paragraph in the book and like, okay, here's what Shinto's about, here's what Islam is about, here's what this is about. And it was really not enough to really dive deep. I guess they were afraid to introduce it on a larger scale in case people started converting or something. I don't know. I was young. I really didn't care. Anyway, so seeing these temples in Sailor Moon, even in the manga and anime format, it was quite mysterious and fascinating, and really kept me interested, not just in what was going on in the show, but in what was going behind the scenes with the culture and religion and all that stuff. Needless to say, the whole experience was quite an eye-opener. Another cultural shock for me was when my husband took me to see his family in Scotland. While on the outside, everything seemed the same as most of the rest of the Western Europe, I definitely felt more out of place, especially with the language. My English wasn't bad, wasn't perfect. It still is lacking a little bit, but you know, it wasn't. I could communicate um, pretty well in English at that point. But Scottish is a totally different story. I love the accent. I could listen to it all day long, but I couldn't understand a word they said. So they could have told me I was ugly and stupid, and I would have just smiled and nodded and agreed with everything they said. And I still love it. I would love to go back someday and spend more time traveling across Scotland and learning the nuances of their culture and the language. It's just such a fascinating area. I can't. I just couldn't get it. I only spent there a couple of days and I just couldn't get enough. I really want to go back. The landscape is absolutely breathtaking. Um, my next cultural shock was actually when we finally moved to the United States. Now, that it would seem, you know, Western Europe, Western countries, as in, you know, and including America, you would think everything is similar. And in some ways it is, but at the same time, it was so different that it really took me actually probably a couple of years before I finally felt comfortable interacting with other people, with interacting with my neighbors. I didn't know where to start. I was so nervous. I was so insecure at the time. I was making the stupidest mistakes when talking to people, and it just made me, I became almost a recluse. Not that I'm any better now, but um, yeah, the culture shock was quite significant. I really took me a while to actually get over that. Um, Now I've been here 20 years and it's become my second home, so um, I'm more familiar with everything now and more comfortable. Um, but anyway, I can tell you more someday if you're interested. Leave me a note in the comments or something. But anyway, out of all the differences in the various countries that I've been to, because Germany, Scotland are just a couple. I literally been all over Europe. Um, but I found that even though the cultures are so varied, so different, on the inside we are also similar. That no matter where we're from, our personal values don't really change. We all worry about the same things, about putting food on the table, providing for the family. We want our loved ones to be happy, to be taken care of. We want to be happy. We avoid difficult and hard tasks. We take the path of least resistance. The point is that traveling around the world really and experiencing the different cultures definitely helped me keep my mind more open and accepting others and their opinions and beliefs. Because no matter where we're from, where we come from, deep down, we are all just human. And we all want to be loved and accepted by others. That doesn't change from country to country. Um, anyway, let me know where you're from and what difference you've noticed by interacting, because internet also helped open the world to other people. So let me know what you found, what you think on the subject. And well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.